All right, so now let's talk about something you've probably never heard of before. It's called elasticity. Elasticity is a term in economics, and basically what it means is that the measurement or how responsiveness a change in one variable is given a change in another variable. So for example, in an earlier video we talked about the law of demand. What did the law of demand tell us? Well, the law of demand told us that there's an inverse relationship between price and the quantity demanded, right? So if the price goes up, the law of demand tells us that the price goes up, the quantity demanded goes down. But what it doesn't tell us, the law of demand, is how much the quantity demanded goes down. That is where elasticity comes in. So in fact, the price elasticity of demand, ooh, I hit the camera, is what tells us, given a change in price, how much does the quantity demanded change. And we can sort of represent it this way. So we have elasticity, price elasticity of demand, and then it's given a percent change in price, how much is the percent change in the quantity demanded in terms of responsiveness, how much is that going to change? And I should tell you that because it's a negative, or the relationship between price and quantity demanded is negative, then this actually comes out to be a negative number, but we don't really care about that. So in absolute terms, absolute value, what is the price elasticity of demand? And the short answer is, if something is said to be elastic if the price elasticity of demand is greater than 1. And something is said to be inelastic if the price elasticity of demand is less than 1. So in other words, if I said something simple, like given a 10% change in price, there was a 5% change in the quantity demanded. How would we represent that? Well, given a 10% change in price, there was a 5% change in the quantity demanded. That's a horrible 5. Let's try that again. There. What would that? Well, 5 divided by 10 is 1/2. It's 0.5. And so that would, we would say that was inelastic. And to really understand it even better, you have to think about price sensitivity. So especially in marketing, we think about things like price sensitivity. How sensitive are consumers to a change in price? And so if you're inelastic, then you're not price sensitive. So in other words, you don't really care about wild or fluctuations in the price. You're going to go ahead and pay it. This would be indicative of something like that was a necessity. All right. So, for instance, you got to have gas to put in your vehicle to get to work and get to school and things like that. So, if the price of gasoline tomorrow went from $1.89 a gallon, which it currently is in Texas, to $2 or $2.50 a gallon, what would happen? Given that change in price, the change in the quantity demanded wouldn't go down. So an increase in, say 50 cents or $1 in the price of gasoline wouldn't have that big of impact on the quantity demanded, and you'd have less than 1% because it's a necessity. You have to get to work. You have to get to school. Versus elastic, which is really price sensitive. So something, you're said to be price sensitive if in fact a change in price does have a fairly dramatic impact on your consumption. A good example might be, I don't know, seltzer water. I mean, I know that when I go to Kroger, if they're running one of those sales where it's, it's 10 cases for $10, that's just too good a deal to pass up. And so I'll load up the cart with a bunch of sparkling water, and that's what we'll drink for, the next 3 months because, given a change in price, it yielded a fairly large change in the quantity demanded. So that's sort of the basics on what elasticity is and how we define it. So let me stop the video. I need to go find my eraser, and then I'll be right back.